welcome back to my channel. Yay! So I am starting something new. I think this is actually going to be my first one because I actually did one yesterday, but then I accidentally did not record any of it. So this is technically my first one. So since we're all in quarantine, why not let's share some of our time with others and have some quarantine virtual lunches together. Today, my guest is my very dear soul sister, friend, sister for life, all the good things. Aina! Hi, Aina! Love you!
Hi!
So, Aina, we met when we were both back in Vancouver when we met at an old company we used to both work at called Kid and Ace, and we pretty much decided to move to Toronto around the same time. We encouraged each other to do that, and she's honestly my soul sister. She's been through so much with me, and we've shared so many beautiful memories and moments together, and we shall be sharing even more of them into the future. So a little bit more about yourself and like what you do. And
so my name is Aina, and I'm an art director / graphic designer, and that's what I do. I'm half Japanese, half Persian, and I grew up mainly in Japan and in Canada. So I think I have both perspectives of like Asian culture and North American culture, and I think that's why I get along with Ariel really well too, because I think she has a similar background in terms of like having both perspectives. I actually flew back from Paris 6 days ago now, and obviously with this whole pandemic, they've asked any travelers who have returned back to Canada to just self-isolate and quarantine for 14 days. It's so funny because, you know, I've never, first of all, like I'm always the type of person that leaves my house at least once a day. Like I hate
right. Yeah, she is
indoors. And so not being able to do that on top of like not having like a lot of food options, like I have some spaghetti, bread, and like eggs and chicken, and then I kind of like mix and match things to create something different, but I just feel so restricted in a way and poor, even though I'm not. And in this like survival mode to like be like, okay, I'm gonna have half a banana this morning and I'll have half a banana tomorrow morning.
Oh my God.
And like calculating.
You're actually, I guess like it is because she just came back and she can't actually go out. Like for me, it's been more like, honestly, last week when everyone was panic buying, I ended up going to Loblaws, Longos near Tanya's, and mainly to get toilet paper, but I ended up buying like food too because everyone was buying food, and I just felt like I needed to buy food too, even though I still have quite a bit of food at home. So then like it's just like crazy times because I feel like no one really knows what's going on or what they're doing.
Enough, I feel like the days go by a lot faster because I'm not doing much, and I'm just
you made that
a little
comment.
bit. Like working a little bit, watching TV, like rolling around on my bed, and time flies.
That's really funny. Well, that's really interesting because I feel like actually no, I also, so for example, yesterday I felt like the time went by. It just felt like a regular day. I had to do so much. So by the time it was like 11 p.m., I was like, I still had so much to do. Like time just flew by. But on the flip side, I also feel like we have so much time now, but maybe it's a mix of both. Am I even explaining this right? Because I feel like before this all happened, a lot of things I'm actually putting time into now I was not even doing at all before. So I think I'm able to do more now, but because I'm doing more as well, it also seems like time is passing by faster. But in reality, we do have a lot more time. So I'm trying to make the best of it to like improve my habits and just like do a lot of things that I've always put off because I would say I'm too busy. So to me, because we're in such a controlled environment and we have time right now, I feel like it's the best time for me to improve on my habits because I have no excuses or outside distractions for me to be like, oh yeah, I went out too late last night, so you know it's okay if I don't do this today or like whatever. So I'm trying to improve on my habits. So I've been doing that pretty well consistently. And, I've been meditating, journaling. So I've been doing a lot of things. I think that it's like helping me on the deep core, but this whole thing is a very intense, unprecedented situation, right? So,
right, especially for those people who do live alone,
mm-hmm.
you're going days, if you're not working from home, like you're going days without talking to somebody. And luckily I have somebody here I can bounce my ideas off or just say something to. But I like imagine, for instance, my mom right now, she's in her house alone and she hasn't gone out for like a week and a half. And I'm thinking, how is her mental state? So I like try to call her as much as possible and obviously like stay in touch with her. But it really does give you time to self-reflect, and maybe to a point where it's just like it could get a little bit too much too, because that's all you have really, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But
sure.
yeah, and it's so interesting to me too, because this is unprecedented. Like it's never happened before, where it's pretty much the law, so to say, now to stay in and consider others and really put yourself like in isolation. I feel like I'm in a dream in a way, or like in a movie.
It
like
is.
Who would have thought that we wouldn't be able to go out in the springtime 2020 to just go hang out, go to the park, go
for sure.
The cherry blossom.
No, 100%. This is a movie. Like this has never happened before. Like think about it. Every major event, every major event and sporting event and all of that are canceled. It's like, it's crazy. This has never happened. So many things that they've done, like shutting down the lights on the Vegas Strip, like shutting down everything, just has never been done before. So it definitely is like, I feel like everyone is trying to figure it out. So again, back to like that point, I think that's why it's okay to not be positive all the time. And I'm saying this to myself right now too, because we are in a situation where it is like, we're all trying to figure it out. But on the flip side, I want to say like, I think it's healthy to let out your emotions, and I'm learning to do that too, and even share your emotions, because like you said, for people that are by themselves, like me, I have Lucy, my neighbor, but like she went away for the weekend, so I'm like, because I was doing yoga with her, but I was like, maybe like wait a bit before I consider seeing you, because I just want to be safe. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I do think it's good to just express and let out and share all your emotions and feelings with people, whether you want to do it, to the public or just with your close family and friends. But I think it is important to just be authentic, because we are all trying to figure this out together. But then once you let it out, I still do think it's important that we keep that mindset of hope and positivity, because again, I really, really believe that everything manifests from our thoughts first. Like it might not seem like it, but it does. It always stems from that first, and then it grows. And then you might not even see how it grows or actually manifests into real life, but it all comes from our thoughts first.
I think like even if the environment doesn't change, your feelings or the thoughts you have will always be changing. You might be happy for one day, and next thing you know, you might be having a shitty moment or day, and then the next day you might feel great again. And I think so. It's never going to be consistent, and I think that's where this like the differences of like your physical environment, which is always like right now it's always the same. I'm confined in this Airbnb right now for 14 days, versus like what's happening in my mental state. And like I guess it's like that battle, of like, okay, because before, if I'm feeling crappy, I can just go outside and go for a walk, or go and meet my friends and stuff like that. And now I can't do that, right? So I think this dynamic is really like something I've never had to face with. And I'm sure everyone's going through the same thing, and the world is going through the same thing, really.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like when we really think about it, I feel like this is a message to all of us, like some greater power, I don't know, talk to Chew. Like yesterday when I was talking to Chew, he told me about this book that he read by this author, and it was written back in like the 1930s, and he talked about like how when humanity gets to a point where we aren't progressing in the way that we should in a healthy manner, in various areas throughout like ourselves, the society, the economy, how we're taking care of the earth and all of that. When we're hitting that point where it's like becoming destructive, something like this happens, and it's a message for everyone. It's a wake-up call. And it's not only like his book, that a lot of different things I've been like I've been reading, and it's been coming to me, have talked about similar like situations. But so I just feel like, you know, today I've been feeling shitty, so it's harder for me today to talk about things like this, but I've been thinking about this a lot, and I honestly feel like this really is a wake-up call, because to be honest, if something like this didn't happen, so many of the issues of the world right now will not be realized, or people might like give it a bit of thought, but they'll just, you know, people are selfish. Like people will just keep living their own lives, thinking about themselves. And I honestly feel like some of the big messages here right now is to show us that, number one, like we really are all connected, and people are realizing that more right now, ironically, in self-isolation, and people are now realizing, oh my gosh, like what's important to me are connections. So like that's why everyone's like connecting now, even though they're self-isolating, you know?
Yeah.
And then also just like we are also realizing how we're all connected by just like the effect of our emotions based on just everything we're seeing from the world, just like besides just the developments of the virus, but like you know, people getting laid off, like businesses shutting down, and like just seeing all these things, and we're feeling it, and we're just like we're feeling each other's energies, like you know, if you really think about it, we really are connected. So people are realizing that too. But I think the other big thing is like, for me, it's like, oh, and then actually two other big things is, we're connected to each other, but also just now that we all have the time to self-reflect at home, for me at least, it's all both my strengths and my darkness are surfacing so much easier. Like they're just surfacing. And it's a way for me again to really self-reflect and realize what I want to do to improve myself and to be the best me. So I have the full time now to give myself attention to improve myself. And then the last thing is the earth. I feel like one thing I used to overlook so much, and I don't know about other people, I feel like, but for me, this is such a wake-up call for me, is like mother nature, like mother earth, the earth that we live in, that, you know, it's such a gift, and we are damaging it so much, and it is all connected too. Like if we want to have this, like if we want to keep progressing in modern society with modern developments and progresses, which I'm all for, because, you know, we like living in the big city and all that, but we have to be able to find that balance where we're not only focusing on that, but we have to do it in a way that we can still take care of the earth. So even little, I know like that sounds very like dramatic and big, but for me, even little things like sorting my garbage, I am a lot more conscious of it now. Like everything I do, like little actions, I'm just like, is this, you know, like I'm just trying to be more conscious with everything I do, you know?
I definitely think it's like a huge reset button for everybody, not just us, but for the environment, for the economy, for for the people. And like I'm hearing and I'm reading all of this, they're seeing the blue skies for the first time in Shanghai, or the animals are coming out and swimming. Dolphins are swimming in the water in Italy and things like this. And you just it also, because for the longest time we were saying, okay, we're polluting the earth, we're polluting the earth, what can we do? And yes, people were taking initiatives, but maybe it wasn't enough. And right now, when we're in this isolation, I think we're really able to see like what we can do. I mean, yes, it's an unfortunate circumstance, but I think it's almost like telling us, hey, we are able to help Mother Earth. You know, we are able to make this earth a better place and keep it that way if we really wanted to. And what we need to do is, hey, maybe we understand that we don't all need to be outside and, you know, driving around all the time to go to work, or understanding that, you know, yes, connection is important, but it doesn't have to always happen in a setting that pollutes the earth. So yeah, and then my mom always used to say like, what goes down must come up. So I feel like right now we're in this like going down phase, unfortunately. But I really think, you know, once we do feel this and really realize this and live through this, we'll be able to come back up, and hopefully it is for the better, and for people, for the environment, for Mother Earth. So I think like having this like hope or like something to look forward to is keeping me sane, because I know it's not easy.
For sure. No, I really agree. And and you know, like there's a lot of very spiritual people that also believe that this is a part of like an awakening, or like a movement to some sort of evolution of consciousness. For me, I feel like I think it is related, but I feel like this is only the beginning, because to be honest, there's so many unwoke people in the earth. So that's my concern. Like, I guess like one of my concerns is, actually, you know what, before I ask that question, I'm going to ask you. So you kind of just alluded to it right now, but based on everything I just said, like, you know, about how I think this is a message and blah, 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 were you feeling that too?
I mean, I think it's in a way like a punishment that we've put ourselves up to. You know, we've just been doing whatever we want, whenever we want, and now we're dealing with the consequences. I don't necessarily know if it's like message from somebody. I think if it's anything, it's like a message that we put out into the world that's now coming back and slapping us in the face. I don't know if it means anything particularly, because these things have happened in the past, and humanity, you know, they've learned to reset and restart and rebuild. So yeah, I haven't really thought about like, oh, this has to mean something, or this must be like a message from the universe. I just think this is what we've done, and it's I guess it's karma, right? We mistreated the earth, and now it's coming back to us.
Yeah, but I feel like another way to look at it though is, if you believe that we're all connected and we really are the universe, and God is really just within all of us, we are God, then yeah, you're right. We're both right, because I think it's a message from our deepest selves to ourselves to remind us, stop fucking up this world that you're living in, right?
Yeah.
So
maybe that is the big message, you know, is like, however you take it, or, you know, however you understand what's happening right now, it's still something like I'm pretty sure everyone's dealing with it in different ways, but you understand what's happening. You understand, you know, this was caused, not caused by us, but we see like the earth getting happier, so to say, right now, and seeing that outcome is because we're partaking in this whole earth-wide, I don't know, isolation. So I think people do notice that, and hopefully like that triggers something within everybody, whether if it's good or bad, but hopefully more in a positive direction.
Okay, let me ask you this then. So how much faith do you have in humanity that after this, people are going to be a lot more conscious about their actions and what they do, and also for yourself as well?
Well, I had this like funny thought yesterday where I was like, when am I going to be able to hang out with my friends at a restaurant and share fries and not having to think I need to sanitize my hand or don't touch that edge of my fries
Yeah.
or, you know, just being so aware of it. I feel like right now it's so embedded in me. If I'm like touching anything outside this place, I'm going to have to sanitize. I'm going to wear a mask. And it's almost like, how can I unsee that? So it's like I'm ideally in the ideal world, they'll come up with this vaccination to like just normalize everything. But I truly hope that people remember this time to not happen again. I think there are so many things that we can do and so many things that we need to understand that we are part of this. Like we shouldn't be selfish. Like we all have a part in this world. And because I think like that, I hope at least 100 other people think like that.
Yeah,
and
same.
Because those 100 people think like that, I hope 1,000 more people think like that. So I have hope. I have hope that people remember this and really consider this. And even like right now, I count how many, toilet paper sheets I'm using.
Yeah. Like hey, me too. Honestly, yeah. Like I told you my garbage sorting, but also my toilet paper usage too. Especially before I went to long rolls, I only had a few rolls left. So like and then it's like you catch yourself because like at first I'll just like pull it and I'm like, oh shit, this is so much toilet paper. What am I doing? Like put some back. Be conscious about your actions. But that's good. I'm glad to hear you say that. And I also want to just admit about myself. I truly believe and hope for myself. Like I have faith in myself that after all this happens, like this is going to be something I will remember for life. And the lessons and things I tell myself now during this time that I want to, move forward with my life and live upon these values, I hope I keep. Because I also feel like for me, even though, I've been blogging for a year now, and then, the past like half year or so, I really started to think about like, I want to help other people become better people and help myself, blah, 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 all that. There's still so much I realized that I feel like I subconsciously sometimes was thinking selfishly for a lot of things, or was just ignorant about a lot of things too. That I realized, I don't know, I just like taking care of the earth, like and I think I used to feel like one person might not be able to make a big impact. I would think like, okay, yeah, if I can start blogging, this is my creative outlet, maybe I can grow to a point where I am going to be resonating with a lot of people. But then it would be things like that where I'm like, okay, I need to like, but everything else I do in my life doesn't really matter. Like it's not going to impact anyone, so it doesn't really matter. But it does.
Yeah.
Now I realize that I think if me and my personal life, I can be more conscious in everything I do in my everyday, no matter if it's just me living by myself and the actions I'm doing, like no one else can see, or if it's how I'm interacting with other people, I believe that everything matters. Everything actually leaves some sort of footprint or impact. If you truly believe that we're all energy in the universe, then yeah, even if you're by yourself and you take an action, you think a thought, it still is there. Like you're producing it. So for example, before, like if I used to like not give a shit about like how much toilet paper I use, or like I don't do compost, I don't like sort my garbage, or like my plants, like I sometimes water it, but I don't really give them that much attention. Like it seems like such minuscule things that might not matter, but now I truly think it does matter. And like the beauty of nature, like just being able to, I crave just like being able to just go out and enjoy nature. Like I feel like when I was young, I didn't really understand that. I would be like, okay, nature's great, like fresh air, but like I didn't really connect with nature or see the importance of that. But now I do. Like everything is just like, I just feel like everything in our lives and in this world, there's meaning to it if we choose to look and if we choose to like be conscious about it. So I guess like all in all, it's literally every single action I take, I'm just more conscious about it and conscious about how I'm feeling. And again, just going back to that mindset of knowing that, yes, like I need to love myself, but I'm really in this world that I'm sharing with all these other souls and Mother Nature. And I feel like we're all connected. So I just have to be conscious about everything I do. And the more good I can do, the more it'll spread and the more good will come to me too, like karma.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, enough of this. We can talk about something else too. I mean, it's hard. Like, I know I've been on Zooms with a lot of people, like reconnecting with a lot of people. And because it's unprecedented, it's like so hard to not talk about it. Yeah, we're just like, yeah, let's not talk about it. And 5 minutes later, we're just like, yeah, so that grocery store that closed.
Yeah, I know. I had a call 2 days ago with some of my dancing friends, and we were just going to talk about like some dancing projects that we could do while we're home. And then for some reason, every topic started just shifting to the pandemic, and we're like, okay, let's not talk about it. And then gradually just like gone into that too. So.
But it's freaking the collective. That's why like everyone, see, it's like we're all in it. It's so hard to. So I think that's still something I'm trying to figure out is because for example, like my mom, she's like pounding me with news articles every day, like seriously. Yeah. And then when this all first started, I was so resistant against her. I was like, not because I didn't care, it's just I didn't want it to manifest. I was so scared of like I knew it was growing and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want like the whole
like feed into it. Yeah.
I don't want everyone to start going crazy, which people pretty much did. But so I was trying to tell her, like don't like, let's just not like, yes, it's happening, but like, let's not think about it. I was very like, I don't want to even think about it. But then my perspective kind of changed because honestly, I feel bad because she actually sent me masks and essential oils and now it's very essential. Like I'm so happy I have them. Yeah. So I don't think the answer is to avoid it and not think about it at all because it's a situation that is happening. And again, it's teaching us things.
Yeah. But and we're all in it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all in it. But I feel like, well, for me, I don't have an answer. Like I don't have a solution with what I'm saying right now, but I'm trying to find a balance of like, I guess, staying informed, being able to share information, something like this with other people talking about it. But then where's the line where we don't want to keep contaminating everyone's minds about it too? Because like what you just said, it's so hard for anyone to not talk. It's the only thing we can talk about.
Yeah, yeah. And like it kind of reminds me of like when I was in Paris and I was planning my escape route, so to say, back to Canada. And every day, like morning to night, I would be watching the news. I would be Googling the numbers of cases. I'd be just like any information I could find. I was obsessed over it to a point like I actually had an upset stomach for 3 days. It was like, it was really stressful. And then like I knew like I couldn't do this for much longer. So then I decided, when I do look up this, like the essential information that I really need to know, I'll do it in the morning once. And I'll like watch, I don't know, like half an hour news or read some articles. And then I'll do it once again in the evening. But during the day, I just don't want to like expose myself to more information than I need to. So obviously like having work is helping. Like listening to music, meditation, yoga, even cooking is helping, and just kind of steering myself, not avoiding it, but just like limiting to the essential needs of what I need to know instead of like overloading myself as like, this could be good for you, this could be bad for you, don't do this, but that might be fake news. And it just like keeps coming in and in and in, and it's like endless, right? And that's the whole, like, that's the power of like, I guess, the internet, so to say. But it's I just because I went through the week period and the 3-day upset stomach period where it was just so bad, I had to like reset myself there too.
For sure. I was talking to Chu about this yesterday too, and I think that's the important thing. And I posted a vlog yesterday about relating to this. that I do think it's important. But first of all, the news thing, I agree. Again, in the beginning, I was trying to just avoid news completely because I was like, I don't, it's gonna infect my mind. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't want it. But now, we need to stay informed. So I agree. I think we need to limit ourselves to like however many minutes, 15, 30, whatever, that's it. And don't do it right before you sleep or right when you wake up, because she was saying yesterday how he knows he shouldn't be doing this, but he was looking at the news. He would catch up on the news right before he slept, and it would fuck up his next morning because he's already thinking about it. So I do think like before we go to sleep and when we wake up is such a sacred time, because it will direct your mood and how you feel and how you behave throughout the day.
Yeah.
So keep that time like in peace. So I do think it's very important that we all take time right now while we're at home, besides working on our routines, to be creative, to be creative and be expressive, because I think that also will help with the manifestation and the collective mindset of everyone. Because the more people that can actually make this time valuable for themselves and not waste it, and work on themselves. First of all, if you work on yourself and you're improving yourself, that energy you're putting out is going to grow and become stronger and infect others too. And I think even if you don't really believe in like the spiritual element of it, if you just think about, if, for example, I am consistently working on myself and I'm improving, and right now everyone's connecting with each other more, so I'm going to talk to people more. And if I'm talking to them, they can sense that. For example, if I like talk to a friend and she's sitting in her pajamas all day only watching Netflix, but she sees me all dressed up and I'm like, hey, I just worked out, I just did this and that, blah, blah, blah. She'll feel motivated to do that too. So you can spread that, right? And then the second thing is, I think, take this time to like be creative. I feel like there's so like, especially because we're emotional right now, so much art comes from multitudes of emotions, right? Like, let's produce content to inspire people too. Even if I have a shitty day like today, because I'm doing all these things, like, I'm thinking of new ideas, like new projects, I still have work, I still get up, I do my TikToks, like whatever. It keeps me busy and not up in my emotions the whole day. So
and then on the note of like making ourselves feel better, I also do like something more silly, and it's just literally just smiling when it's not even like
I try to do that too. Yeah.
I'll be like working and I'll remind myself and I'll be like and it's kind of funny. It does work because you do it and you're like, this is so stupid, and then it becomes silly, and then you start laughing and you're like, okay, I guess it kind of worked. And then so I do that once in a while when I am feeling a little bit low.
I was thinking the same thing like the past 2 days. So then sometimes when I'm just like sitting there and I'm on my phone, or I'm like on the computer and I feel myself, like my face is just like very heavy and solemn, I'm just like, maybe I should smile. So I'm just like smile. I'm just like, I feel so stupid.
But then that makes you laugh because you're like, this is creepy, like I'm just smiling to myself.
I'm gonna do that more though, because I think it does help. Like, and then
I think so too.
So I think we can wrap it up here today. I was hoping to talk more than just the current state, but you know what? Good information, I think. Inevitable. And I think we shared some good tips. So, and we can do more of this. We have all the time in the world, and I love doing this. Like, it's, So
thanks for suggesting. It helps me like just talk to somebody else.
Yeah, for sure. And then hopefully it'll help other people too. But thank you so much for joining me. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Stay true to you, from new to you. All right, peace. Bye.